Have you ever looked at a graph and just felt something without fully understanding it? Good afternoon. I'm Priyasha Tank and I'm a student at MIT Pune. I'm really interested in how everyone, not just designers, makes sense of information because we connect more with what we can see and feel than just numbers. Back in 1850s, John Snow mapped cholera cases and helped people see an invisible crisis. And today, from that moment to COVID-19, dashboards, data, visualization have become part of our everyday lives. But I still wonder, do we really understand what we are seeing or does it just feel like charts? So today, let's explore how we can make data something everyone can truly understand and trust. So my fellow mates will introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Arpita from Multimedia and Mass Communication.
Hi, I'm Shubham Bagla. I did my bachelor's in animation.
Hi, I'm Sanjana Arsole from Applied Arts.
Hi, I'm Gaurisha Goyal from BTech Computer Science.
Thank you guys for introducing yourself. So on today's topic, let's discuss how data visualization can be presented for non-designers. What is your opinion about information design and data visualization? And when non-designers think of data visualization, what do you usually assume it?
Okay, so you know what? Earlier I used to write information in news articles. Unfortunately, it was read only by dadas and nanas, dadis, nanis. So I love information design because the way it presents information. Honestly, this field I love because whatever field which expresses and complex information in simpler terms, nothing is more beautiful than that.
Yeah, that's right. Information design was earlier more like numbers, but now we have a clarity in that. Okay, so what part of data visualization might feel most challenging for someone without a design background?
I have an opinion for this. So I personally feel like to understand in the perspective of user was the biggest challenge for me, and to cater for them and not to show everything but what they actually wants to see is the biggest challenge for me as a technical background person.
Very good, insightful.
So, according to me, the most challenging the non-designer will face that how will be the collecting the data, and after that how will be visualizing it.
Okay, great. How do you make a visualization accessible to all the users?
I have an opinion on it. I think visualization is something that every gender, every age group perceive it differently. So visualization is something that you can showcase into a type of a art form, a type of anything which a user can relate quickly. I think visualization is just a part. Like if I can see the 6, the another person is looking it as a 9.
Yeah.
So I think that's the part where visualization plays an important role, and the data can be represented in the another format also, and not only numbers. We can take any of the inspiration from the nature, from the things around us, and we can represent data quite insightful so that people can relate.
Also to the point where you said a data a 6 for me can be a 9 for
Right.
you. So what I feel is that we should keep our target audience in mind before making the visualization.
Right.
I would say it's similar to like every coin has like two faces. So there
Yeah.
can be like every different perspective. We need to like cater to them and then think about them.
Okay, let's move forward. As you have seen information design both as a designer and a non-designer. So how would you simplify data for your user or your audience?
I feel the initial step for any information design to simplify the data. Firstly, we need to comprehend ourselves ki what the data is about. And if we'll be able to do that, then I'm sure we'll easily be able to make it simplified and accessible, legible for our users.
On this point, I would like to add one point. Also, if we know our data well and we do some secondary research on the data, we can know our data on point and what it is exactly about, and what our users are going to see it from their perspective. We have to look upon that as well, and after that we can decide like how we can represent it, and not only charts but also the other factors will also be matter. So I guess secondary research about our data is also quite important in this. The primary one is good, but the secondary one is more beneficial, I guess.
To add what Sanjana said, it for me like cleaning or redesigning the data is like a messy code. So you need to organize it well. You need to remove like redundant rows and then like categorize it so that I can also read it properly. So, yeah.
Another important thing that I feel is a CT is very important for a good visualization. If we'll be able to communicate that,
Right.
then the purpose of our database is fulfilled. Our data visualization is successful.
Having a narrative help users understand visual better. So how can storytelling transform raw data into a meaningful insights?
I think if I take perspective of children, so they have like a short attention span. But at the same time, if I give them like a storybook or play some video for them, so it captures their attention very quick. Similarly, I think if I tell you about some unknown field that you are not aware of, for example, maybe related to engineering, and in the same way, I tell you that same thing in the story format, I think it will be more understandable for you. So yeah.
To add her to the point, I think data represents a story. So I think you mentioned about the storybooks about the children. So they have one process. The narrative starts and ends with the story. So this what matters a lot when we take any data set and we represent it and we do all of the process in that data cleaning and stuff. We can see story itself in the data, and that is the point where we can represent it quietly. So I think data is present in each part of the world. It's just people perceive it very differently, and I think that is the most like it what matters a lot, because in today's world we all use Instagram, and just while scrolling there are some of the reels, the posts are there, and we can see some of the data numbers, and they are using some of the visuals in the data, so by representing the data, so in just few seconds I can perceive like what's happening around me. So I think data is something which is present everywhere but perceived by the people differently.
I think in a way, Sanjana has concluded the session and given her inputs on the topic that data is present everywhere. It's important to visualize in a way what matters the most. As a designer, I think we have a great responsibility of doing it. So I guess by this our audience have got some insights and how the data visualization is important for designers. By this we will conclude the session, and thank you so much for listening us.